Yo guys, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle and I'm here to train another 42 minutes of chess. Our subscriber count is up to 2539, so let's see how many minutes that is. I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're still just within 42 minutes, so that's how many minutes we'll be training today. This is the day before, the English Championship, and I'm quite interested. What is the staff picks actually? So today it's now or never to complete my 300 woodpecker method exercises. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're just going to be finishing this up. So 27 exercises to try and grind. I'm not exactly sure what my streaming schedule is going to be like during the English. Like probably I'll either stream in the mornings before the round start just to like have a warm up. But if I feel like that's too much, then maybe I will skip streaming altogether, or maybe I'll stream in the evening to recap you guys. I don't really know, basically, right now. It will really depend on how it goes. But what is this? So I've heard about this create your own course. Staff selections is just giving some different courses. Okay. I wasn't sure. Well, when are the Chessable course awards, actually? Let me look this up. I'd be interested. When does this come in? I guess they do it at the end of the year. That would make sense. Yeah. Anyway, let's get to training. We can worry about Chessable courses and success another day. Let's get into this. So yeah, intermediate exercises, aiming for 300. Let's go. Also, I reached a new bullet peak today. I reached 2550 for the first time, which is quite nice. And yeah, just feeling quite sharp in general, like, which is definitely good news. Rook h2, king h2, queen h6, king g1, knight h3, king somewhere, and then what? Let's say king back to h2. Maybe at the very least we can play knight g5 and pick up the queen. And have we got enough material there? I'm pretty sure we have. Okay, that was smooth. That was nice. And this one is the classic Le Bon tactic. This rook h4. I will never ever miss this. King takes and then g5 check and then king g7. So you basically vacate the square for your king. I did so many endgame studies with this motif, like I will never miss it. Even though it will probably never come up, but you never know. Takes on c6 looks like the most natural move, in the sense that this looks really strong. Do they have anything else? I don't think so. Maybe, no, I don't know. What can they do? Looks really good. Has to be the move. It's not the move? Oh, so it's just saying I have to make basically some slow nothing move, and this is the red herring. So bishop c6, queen c6, king f7. I even looked at this, but I didn't see. I literally looked at here. I saw bishop d7, queen d7, and king f7, and I thought none of those work. I just pick up the rook. So what's the problem here? If he captures on c6, white has to limit the damage with queen d5 check, king g6 and castles with 2 pawns for the piece. But if he tries to go for the exchange, he loses after ed4, king f2, bishop b7. And queen e4. Oh man. This is tricky. I am ill, but I still can't switch account. Oh dear. And the tricky that joined last stream was Sapsara. Okay. I hope you can fix your account and I hope you get better soon, Arif. Can you not change your profile pic at least to something other than Jan's Jan? Because otherwise it's just going to be so confusing. Like, even if you can't change account, at least you can change the profile pic. Like, that much you can do. Hi, Arjun. One more extension on the trolley problem. Yo, too early in the morning. Too early in the morning. If I get to 290, then I will answer that trolley question. Welcome, Atul. How's it going? Arjun go to school? Yo, Arjun's a full-grown adult. He is a fully fledged adult improver of chess. So yeah, this one I guess we just have to retreat, and we literally don't have anything here. That's wild. Let me see if I can understand this properly. Bishops. I mean, I do, but I just want bishop c6, bc6, queen c6, king f7. I take the rook in the corner, and then they go takes on d4 of check. I have to move, and they go bishop b7. And I am supposedly lost because after queen b8... I guess my king is in complete trouble. Right? Like in this position, after queen b8, I've got queen... No, there's no queen e3. I've got the bishop here. So what's even the problem after queen b8? Just queen e4. God, this is a horrible position. Which is why my general philosophy of not playing for tactics is a good one, because you end up going into complications like this, and then you just end up losing. So, yeah. But okay, good to have seen that. You know it's me and I can't be bothered now. I don't know it's you, Tricky, because if Jan joins the stream, then I don't know who is who. So if Jan joins the stream, I want you to change your profile picture. Like, it's not hard. It's really not hard. Try some calisthenics? Excuse me, I haven't even read the trolley question. I don't want to. Is this woodpecker? Yes, this is woodpecker. Okay. I mean, rook h3 is like so tempting, but how does it actually work? So rook h3, they've only got king g1 and takes on h3. If king g1... Can't make it work. I mean, rook takes h3, if king g1, we've won a pawn, right? So we don't really have to look at that. So rook h3, gh3 is the only critical move. Do we mate or not? Queen takes f3 looks strong, because they can't block. They wouldn't be able to block anyway. King h2 is forced. Queen g3 check. King h1. Problem is, if queen h3, rook h2. But maybe we can throw in some f3 at some point. So hold on, rook h3, gh3. Queen takes f3, king h2, queen g3, king h1. Maybe f3 now, hitting the rook. Where can we go? Rook d2 is met with f2. If rook h2... then we can play f2 anyway. Yeah, and I think that wins. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. So we can do this, basically. Take here first. Yeah. King h2, queen g3, and f3. Boom. Let's go. Rook h2, f2. Lovely. Okay, let's keep it coming. Yeah, I know about calisthenics because of Dubov. I know Dubov really likes his calisthenics. I've never gotten into it. I don't think I ever will. I don't know, maybe if it was like next door to me and I had some motivation to train. But Seems like a very rare scenario that would actually happen. Knight takes d6 seems good in the sense that if pawn takes, queen takes, pick up the knight. My bishop is hanging though. Maybe I need to be careful. But still, it looks like the only active move here. Like, I'd want to go for it. If knight d6, I'm threatening mate in 1. I mean, what else is there to do? I feel like we have to play this. If takes, queen takes, king g2. If we take the knight and they take here. Do we have perpetual at least? Queen e4 check? I feel like we do. Check, check, check. I mean, king here, check. King here, check. At the very least, we've got a perpet there. So I think that's enough. That's enough to go for this. Yeah. And my feeling is I want to take this because I don't really have any checks immediately because the knight can start blocking. I think we gotta take this. What? No, I even looked. Okay, at least that's good, right? I tried to look a little further. I tried to look if knight c6, queen d7, king b6, and I thought there's nothing. So I at least looked to here, but I didn't look far enough. I missed bishop e3. And then it's actually mating. Oh my god. Wow. Wow, and literally all of these threats mean they have to resign. That's unbelievable. I was happy with a perpet, that was a problem. Let's see if my move was actually drawing, or was I just lost? Maybe I was even lost after my move. So queen d5 is winning. Takes here. This was my plan with just to draw. But it looks like I'm even better here. So that just shows my evaluation was really bad. Rook f1 looks like a devastating move. I don't get how these moves are working. Like, rook f1, why can't they just like try and combat it? Oh, I'm probably going to be able to fork? Yeah, I can take and queen c5. This is really hard. It's really, really hard. I mean, I feel like intuitively to take the knight makes sense. Because you want to remove a potential defender around that king. But concretely, it doesn't make sense because I can actually bring the bishop in a very useful way. So I need to be more concrete with these puzzles, basically. Alright, let's keep going. Oh, this is the same one, so queen d5, yeah. I wonder how many I've got wrong compared to the first time round I tried to solve these. I hope I am getting better. But yeah, I can't believe the English Championship starts tomorrow. It's a lot of hype. How do we win this? In a blitz game, I just play this based on feeling. Like, it feels like maybe it does something, but probably does nothing, right? The bishop can just take. Unless then I can give this check, right? No, that actually wins. So if d5 pawn takes. So why isn't this winning right now? If king here, then I just push. If bishop check king here, then I can't push because the bishop takes. So if I go like this and I give a check and the king comes here, how do I win? Probably I push this pawn. If they push here, I can push here. This should be winning. So it looks like this is winning. And then this is the check. And then I want to be able to push this pawn. That was very clean calculation if this is the right answer. Just double checking. Here, here, here. Here, here, here. Yeah, looks great. White is mating. Fantastic. Okay. You know what? I said at 290 I'll answer Arjun's trolley question. At 280 I'll answer it. I'm curious. The move I'd play in the game is just knight d5. I would want to like limit this knight. But I don't see how that wins or something. Maybe if here and I go knight takes, I think they have to take back with the pawn. And then I guess actually I've got something, right? So knight d5, maybe I've just got this huge threat of rook d2, and how do they deal with that? Maybe they can't. Like, let's say they play rook c8 maybe to attack this bishop. But then I can already play bishop b3. And again we have the same problem. I think knight d5 is super strong. I felt like knight d5 was so strong. What is knight e6? How does knight e6 make any sense? Pawn takes? Knight e6 doesn't make any sense. How is that? What? Knight e6 pawn takes. I've lost a piece. I mean, I guess. Knight e6 pawn takes, rook takes f4. And black's position is actually very shaky. They can't block bishop f6 because the rook on d8 hangs. They can't play king e8 without allowing bishop b5 check. They can't play king g8 without allowing bishop takes e6. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not even looking in this direction. That's crazy. Knight e6 is strong. So knight e6, yeah, it's a fork. So I don't know. I don't know how to see that. I mean, I even have the feeling that I saw this last time as well. So I don't know what I'm not able to see now compared to before. I guess what I need to do is look at all my checks and captures, right? Like before settling on knight d5, I need to make sure I've at least looked if my checks and captures work. And knight e6 is a check. So it needs to be looked at, even if it doesn't make any sense. Like, it took me so long to even understand what was the point. Okay, let's do this next one. So this time, even if we think we've got the answer, let's just make sure we've looked at all of our checks and captures. This is why I think like a warm-up in the morning would be really good before every round, because I feel like it takes every day to remind myself that checks and captures are important. And yeah, if I don't get that reminder, then who knows what my chess will be like. So to me, rook c2 looks really strong, in the sense that if queen takes bishop c4. So rook c2, is there any counterplay here? I'm literally hitting the queen. Looks super strong. Any checks. Queen takes, would that do anything different? I think that's just completely worse. I think rook c2 has to be the move. Yep. Let's go. Queen takes c2, bishop f5, queen d6. Aha, I just assumed that I would have a strong continuation here. Maybe this was a very bad assumption. I guess rook c1, as the line gives, king c1, rook c8. And if ever king d2, you pick up the queen. Yeah. But yeah, I should look at queen takes d6. Like, I shouldn't be lazy about it. Oh, this is Anastasia's mate, right? With knight e7? Unless it's like a red herring. Because if king takes queen, takes h7, and rook h4 is mate, right? So knight e7. But the thing is, if queen takes... well, then I can at the very least take with the queen. Maybe even pawn takes is possible. So that's good enough, right? I don't think there's anything else to consider. Okay, very nice. Glad this checkmate comes up from time to time. And on that note, let's see Arjun's trolley question. So, hi Michael, one more extension on the trolley problem. If you had 5 suicidal people on one track and 1 non-suicidal on the other track, train was going to run over a non-suicidal person, would you flip? Jeez. Yeah, no, it's still too early to answer this question. My gut answer is I would, because I don't know, if those 5 people want to die, then you're kind of like helping them out, and they may even go down like you know, living like a legend in the sense that they saved a person, right, by you know, committing to their suicide. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it really depends, like, how suicidal they were. If it was just like some suicidal thought and they don't actually want to die, then it's a tough one. It's a tough one. That's probably my deciding factor, right? How suicidal are they? If they're like 100% set on it, then yeah, I would pull the lever with that information. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I don't know what you guys think. I don't really want to know what you guys think. I think this is too crazy of a question for this wholesome chess stream. But yeah. Because I am all for euthanasia. Is that even the right, is that the right word? Like the assisted suicide or whatever they call it. Like I'm all for that. I think people should be able to choose if they want to depart from this world. Like if they're in like a completely, you know, stable mindset about it, and like, I don't know, they're just in pain or something, like physical pain, let's say, and it's just literally a net negative to be alive. Like, yeah, power to them, power to them. So I know a few countries. I think is Netherlands one of them, Belgium maybe. I don't remember. So, rook e8 looks tempting. Rook takes, queen takes. Rook e8, king f7, and then what? We could play rook e1. But even that, I don't know. They could take, we could take. They could run. I don't know if we've got enough to be winning. Do we have any other checks? Check, check, check. Queen c4 check might be interesting. Not really. King can just hide. The problem with this is that our own rook is hanging in the corner, right? So I want to deal with that somehow. Oh, what about rook b1? Rook b1 in the sense that if bishop takes, then we can do this, because now we've even got queen e6 mate. If rook b1 and they take, they still can't capture us. Yeah, so rook b1, if they take with the queen, well, then we can just take and we're very happy. If rook b1 and the queen moves back somewhere, now we can give this check. But now they can take because of queen f8. Is rook b1 actually working? Check, take, block. I mean, it definitely looks interesting. I mean, it's the best thing I've got right now. Maybe rook d1 is interesting? Trying to displace this rook, like then I'd have mate again. So rook d1, what can they do? They play like rook f8. I don't know if I've got enough here. Rook b1 looks very tempting, but what if they just move back? What do I do here? I don't know. I mean, I definitely feel like this position looks decent, right? Check and then just play like rook e1 or something. They can't take because I can take back. But I don't really have a clear threat to me. I don't know. Guys, I don't see any answers on chat. Are you guys like napping right now? What? Give me some answers. I don't want to solve these. I don't want to solve these exercises. Rook b1. White can exploit black's back rank problems. Oh, could it be queen c4, put the king onto f8, h8, and then do some kind of fancy back rank tactic? Probably that's the idea, but how to make it work. I mean, maybe I can play like this or something. Then rook f8 to defend the bishop, but then I can take anyway. So maybe this is the idea. If king f8, do I have a follow-up here? What would my follow-up be? I don't know. I feel like I'm close. I've also spent like an absolute age on this problem. Oh wait, if king f8 I can just give check and pick up the bishop, right? Unless they can block with the knight. But this looks so dodgy for them. I probably rook d1. I feel like it has to be close to winning. Although they could, like, I don't know, somehow try and defend everything. I don't know. I don't know. I'm completely burnt out on this one. What other checks do we have? Are there any other checks? Any other captures? No. I mean, rook e8 felt so tempting, but I don't see how it actually wins. What was the problem with rook d1? Let's start with queen c4. It's not. It is this. I was just getting there at the end, and then I didn't have the mental strength to fight on. I was thinking if queen f6. Queen f6 doesn't even work, right? Queen can just take. And then white's obviously winning. So what did I say? Rook d1, just rook f8 or something. But then maybe here I can go queen c4 check. King h8 and queen f7. Maybe this is the motif. Queen b4. But then we can take the bishop. I think I actually understand this move. Rook d1. And I think it's queen c4 now. I think queen c4 now. It's still not. Okay, queen d5, but is it not the same? I guess it's just much simpler. Queen d5. So rook e8 eventually wins a piece, but the variations are complicated after queen a2. And what about queen c4? Was queen c4 leading to winning a piece? I don't know why I completely couldn't solve this. King h8, and this is just not anything. Queen f6. Oh, it's just so hard. Just so hard. Has my chat just died? Oh, my chat has died. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, let me refresh. Let me refresh. I thought people had just decided not to contribute today. Oh wow, we are like, I'm so many messages behind. Okay, let me quickly check. So welcome Veso. Thank you guys for trying to solve these exercises. Which site is this? This is Chessable. This is the Woodpecker method that I'm trying to do. Oh my god, would your answer change if people are kids? Arjun, it's too early in the morning to be answering these questions. And I completely agree with Josh. Where are you getting these questions? Um, my answer probably would change because I feel like as a child, you're probably not like in a good enough mental headspace if you're suicidal to be objective about it. I don't know. I mean, it really sucks for the ones that are, but I think the average child cannot judge whether their suicidal thoughts are legit or not. That would be my answer. So I think it would change, Arjun. And for anyone who's joining the stream now, you'll need to scroll back and read Arjun's trolley problem question. Queen c7 on move 2. Man, I don't even know. I don't even know. That one was so difficult. Can I go back? Okay, so let me put the answer in. Oh, so I don't even have the answer yet. I assumed that this was the answer, just to take on f5. Surely that's just good enough. Yeah. So let's have a look with an engine. What were people's suggestions? There was like rook e8 and queen c7. Queen c7 here? Are we not just blundering? Or do you have rook e1? Is that the point? Maybe rook e1 looks very strong there. Queen c7, there is the beautiful rook d7. That then stops all the issues. And you can fight on with queen e5, but then you can just trade, and I guess you have to grovel in this endgame. Queen c7 of move 2. I'll just thought of these situations, don't know how I came up with these thoughts. I think they're good questions. I think they're very good questions. Just a bit random how they pop up on a woodpecker method stream. Can we do some interception tactics for no reason at all? You take the bishop when the king moves. Right. Interception tactics. I mean, would it be on Lichess? I mean, I think I want to just make sure I get to this 300 number, finish the second set first, and then we'll see. I don't know if I'll have time today. I've got a lot of work and also need to do some preparation for the English Championships. I wonder when the pairings will come out. Actually, let's have a look. Actually, when English Championships chess results. I don't know if it will be on chess results. Let's see. English Championship. Oh, no round 1 yet. What rank am I? I'm right down the bottom actually. Rank 73. Let's go. I'm glad I'm near the bottom. That means I should be playing up almost every time. And yeah, I look forward to trying to get some scalps. Okay. Isn't it? So if knight g2 and if king takes is forced, then we've got queen f2 check, bishop f3, and then queen takes in its mate. Maybe we can even be fancy with a bishop check instead, or queen check instead, sack the queen and might be checkmate. Doesn't matter. But if bishop takes, do we have a follow-up? I don't really see it. Yo, Yassine, what's up? How is it going? I seem to remember you asked me like a question last time, but I had to leave. I had a chess lesson, so feel free to ask me the question again. I don't remember what the question was. Yeah, we're grinding woodpecker method exercises. I'm on my second cycle. We're trying to get to exercise 300, and then I'm done with the second cycle, and the English Championship starts tomorrow. That is my update. I can't remember, Yassine. Are you in London right now, or are you still in Morocco? Where are you at? Knight g2, bishop g2. I just don't see the follow up. Maybe it's to do with like the bishop's a bit loose, right? Maybe we could play like some bishop e2. Now we got to be careful that we don't get mated somehow as well. Like we got to be very careful with this kind of stuff. But if bishop e2 was somehow useful, like for some other kind of attacking motif, then that could be good. Just don't see it right now. I'm not checking chat in case there's an answer, so sorry Yassine for the delay. I wonder actually, maybe it could be this motif, right? With trying to checkmate on the h-file, making use of this bishop. I've only just seen that now. But again, how to make it work? Knight e2, and I get a whole nother move, then yeah, knight g3, hg3, queen h6. So knight e2, they have to defend this somehow? Maybe it's not so easy. Knight e2, they can just take my bishop on g4, and then I'm screwed, right? Knight e2, they just win my bishop. So maybe I need to finesse this somehow, like play bishop d3 and then knight e2 or something. I have zero recollection of the answer of this one. What about knight h3 actually? They can't take my bishop because of knight f2 and knight h3? Like, I don't know why it took me so long to see this move. Like, now I see it, I'm almost certain it's the answer. That's so annoying that it took me so long. I guess at first it didn't feel like I had like some particular threat, right? Like, do I even have a threat? Let's say I play this. What can they play? Maybe the point is they can't play anything, and knight f2 is actually just really strong. Like, what if they play like rook f1? What's my idea? Knight f2 check. If they go king g1, I feel like there has to be some good discovery here. I could go knight d3 check, and the point is on king h1. Now I block the queen, I can take the rook. So maybe rook f1's not a good move. Let's say I just have another move. What's even my threat here? Knight f2, king g1. I guess I've got knight d1, right, to block this rook. But then again, the queen is still protecting f1, so... I mean, at the very least we've got perpetual, but I don't know if that's what we want. I mean, if we have another move, and we play this, and we play to d1, we can at the very least play queen f2, and that looks very, very strong. So, what about... Okay, final idea. What about rook e1? Trying to threaten mate, trying to avoid that trouble. So knight f2, king g1. But here we can actually go knight d3 and pick up the rook, right? So I think knight h3 is just very strong. Yeah, and okay, they just blunder this mate. Probably I could have even played queen f3 to be fancy. I think queen f3 is even working, yeah. Okay, nice. Let's see how you guys did. So knight h3 from Tricky. I think that's Tricky, not Jan. I really can't tell. Just came back from a tournament. Yo, 2142 live. Are you serious? Yassine, that's huge. That's huge. Which tournament did you play in? And Morocco right now, but visiting in September, October. Awesome, awesome. You might just miss me because I'm actually traveling to Malaysia in September, so we might just miss each other. That'll be a shame, but yeah. That's 2142, that's insane, Yassine. That's insane. Any tournaments planned in summer? Yes, so I am playing in the Prague Open and then immediately after the Dortmund Open. So these are my plans, and I'm playing the English Championships tomorrow. So this is 7 rounds against pretty strong players. So, what's your worst case of chess sportsmanship? I feel like I've had too many. Uh, Probably the one that hurt the most. I remember I was like a kid and I was playing in the local league, and I was playing this guy who was somewhat of a rival, and we had such a complicated game, but I knew I was like better for a big chunk of it, but I basically blundered in the complications, and I ended up losing. And I think the guy said to me, like, as soon as I shook his hand, I think he like laughed or something and said something really mean. I can't remember what he said. But that was one of the few times I didn't shake his hand. I just stormed out. I was so angry. I was so angry at him. So probably it's like unsportsmanly from both of us, right? But I can't remember what exactly he said, but it was just completely unnecessary. I mean, it was such an interesting game where both sides had chances, and yeah, it was just a disgusting comment. Um, Reminding my opponent who loses to me about their losses forever. Aha. Yeah, I mean, if they try and be too cocky, I think that's a fair thing to do. F2 e4 g3 with the knight. Oh damn. Let's have a see. I mean, okay, let's have a quick look with Engine to see if there's anything else here. There isn't, but I don't know where you want to put the rook. Knight f2. Oh, it is knight e4 is the faster way. Wow, knight e4. Dan Savage. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's very cool. That's very, very cool. For some reason, I couldn't put two and two together. Like, I was trying to in my head, but I just couldn't. That was Tricky. Oh no. Are we back to Jan and Tricky being on the same account? Tricky, I swear to God, by next stream, if you can't log into your account, I want you to change your profile picture. Like, it's actually not on. It's actually not on. Just came back from a Norm event in Spain. I performed at 2300, had some chances for a Norm. Okay, amazing. Dortmund. Dortmund is 10th to 18th. You're welcome to join the scene, but I have accommodation plans already with my friend. So, Prague Open, I don't have accommodation plans quite complete yet. So, if you join Prague Open, definitely we can room together. But Dortmund Open, that's kind of set in stone for me. But okay, if you head there with a friend or something like, we can definitely meet up. No problem. I don't think he has the right to trash talk if just because you win a game. If you swindle someone, imagine like you swindle like some game that you had that you didn't deserve to win and you just laugh in their face. That's terrible. That's not okay. There was a guy who stormed off in a losing endgame versus me because I stopped writing moves under 5 minutes, which he claims was illegal. I remember this. That was very funny. So Tricky is messaging. Okay, whatever. Yeah, crazy stuff. Okay, let's keep going with this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to 300. Actually, I might need to do some woodpecker in the mornings before my English championship. I mean, I'm not even against that. I'm kind of down for like the quick warm up. Bishop g7 looks good because if king g7 knight f5 and I pick up the knight, like that one seems a lot simpler to me. Is there some kind of catch? To me, I'm just picking up a pawn. If I take, maybe they can take. But then I can play knight f5, and I feel like my attack is really strong, and the knight can't even retreat. So, yeah, I think bishop g7. Okay, they took this way. I should have considered that. I only looked at h2, but taking on f2 is of course making complete sense as well. But I reckon I can just take. If they take, I go knight f5. And again, just intuitively, I feel like that has to be very strong. Also, Yassine, do you have any tips from your Norm tournament? Like, what made it go so well? Okay, I have to take this. There's no other move that looks good. Alternative. Wow, so there is another move here? That's surprising to me. Maybe just queen h5. Maybe this is also very good. Like if he takes, then I could just probably go ahead with this knight f5. Okay, it's not. Queen d4. Ah, I didn't even see this move. I'm missing too much. I'm missing too much. It's actually really bad. I'm not considering enough candidate moves. This is the problem. I'm not considering enough candidate moves. I'm basically just following my intuition and not calculating properly. So that's something that's gonna need to change for tomorrow. We'll see if I can do it. So retaining the bishop for the knight leaves black with a weaker king to take care of. The game instead continued king f2. Okay, at least I played like a world champion. Knight f5, queen d4, but f6. Well, I could take on a7, but tremendous difference in the minor pieces, right? This is the main difference. Yeah. Black managed to turn the game around and win, which would have been less likely if white had found this idea of queen d4 instead. Interesting. Bishop g7, king g7, knight f5. Aha. Yep. But yeah, did you see this knight f2 tricky? Because, yeah, this is... This is nice. Okay, let's try one more. I really wonder, like, by like the 6th or 7th cycle of these chessable puzzles, like, will I actually be getting these right? I really don't know. I really don't know. We'll see. Okay, so if I take this, I'm getting mated. So that's the very first thing to understand. I don't want to get checkmated. Rook takes c6, then feels like a decent response just to get rid of that threat. Then take the rook. But, well, we have an unclear ending, I would say. So how can we have some clarity in this position? d5 might be a useful move to like prevent the threat. d5... If rook takes... If rook takes, I don't know. Okay, Yassine says... Yeah, at least I played like a world champion. Exactly, Sven. Well, I had 2.5 out of 3, played very well, and was about to play against 2300 FM, but the organizer came to me and asked to find a solution like delay the round or make a draw against my opponent. Why would the organizer ask to delay the round? Honestly, the confidence is what makes a difference. That's very interesting. Yeah. I think, like, tomorrow, like, the best thing I can do is just be, like, trying to calculate as much as possible, because normally I'm calculating too little. Try and really properly calculate. Try and, like, have healthy time management. And yeah, stay confident. I mean, that's exactly what was the difference when I won. I recently won this Rapid tournament. And what was going through my head was, you're confident and you're relaxed. You're confident and you're relaxed. You're confident and you're relaxed. And I just said this over and over and over. And I really tried to, you know, have that energy over the board. But I think it is a bit different between Rapid and Classical, because Rapid is kind of like some kind of momentum in your head. I feel like Classical is, you've got to take each game as it comes, maybe, at least for me. But yeah, definitely this confidence. I will keep this in mind, Yassine. Thanks for the advice. d5 looks like it's working except for this move. d5 rook takes, I don't have an answer. What about this idea? Rook takes and then queen c1. That looks very interesting. So we get rid of the threat. The rook is actually pinned. The rook can't move away and defend the queen at the same time. And that way, do we end up like more material up? Let's say they take. Here we could take back with the pawn with tempo on the rook. The rook would need to defend somehow. And I feel like we go a pawn up in this endgame. And maybe that's enough to say that we've got a slight edge. And we have very active pieces. Honestly, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Queen c1 is my solution. Unless queen d2 is a better version. Could queen d2 be a better version of this? What's the difference? Queen d2, maybe they go c5? Maybe I take, and this is actually a bit uncomfortable. c5. And the thing is, I can't play d5 because then they do have this move, and then I'm lost. So queen c1 feels correct. Okay, nice. And then pawn takes was my thought. Unless I want to throw in this check first and then take, but then actually they get some counterplay. I don't know what's more important here. Probably just pawn takes with tempo on the rook. I really like this tempo. Yeah, let's play pawn takes. Yep, and then is it taking on f7? This was my calculation. Let's go. That was a nice one. We got it. I calculate far more and over the board. Yeah, I hope I do as well. d5, right. In head-to-head, you came second. Well, on chess results, it has me on first. So yeah, I came joint first with another player. I lost to him, but on like some of progressives, I definitely have a higher tiebreak. And I think for the event, they just weren't using tiebreak. So really, I mean, we're just joint first, basically. Yeah, rapid seems more flow-based than classical. Do you think an increase or decrease of rating would increase your enjoyment of chess? What do you think the optimal rating is from a pure rating perspective? Do you mean pure rating perspective or pure happiness perspective? Because I don't really know what you mean by a pure rating perspective, Dan. And how do you prevent burnout from chess? Oh my god, these questions are very good. Let me see if I can answer these. So the first thing I want to mention about this is actually I had this reflection during the pandemic when I was first training chess seriously. And I remember, this is actually like, it's kind of a sad story. So, you know, get your tissues ready to hear the story. So basically I was at the Hammersmith Chess Club. I was playing a lot there, like during the pandemic days. Because they had like an outdoor venue and it was really cozy and that was like, you know, that was fine. I had some great games and experience there. But for one club evening, Daniel King turned up to the session. And this was a lot of hype, right? Like a GM playing at the club. And all I remember from that day was me being stupidly excited to play him because I don't think I'd played many GMs at that point. And I basically couldn't have a proper conversation with him because I was too, like, I had too much adrenaline from the fact that I was playing a GM to, like, actually have a normal chat. And what I realized was, I don't know, I had a brief conversation with him and he sounded so miserable. He was just like, yeah, like, I don't really play anymore. Like, basically, like, I'm nowhere near my best. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm fully retired now. And it was just such a negative conversation about chess, which just sounded so sad, right? And when I thought about it, it was like, damn, I mean, like, you know, once you get to this status, right, this level of GM, you can't just turn up to a normal chess club session and play some chess and have a beer. Like, in the end, he did because people started to leave him alone and like give him the space he needed. But like, still, at first, it was always this awkward kind of like, you know, tension around the fact that there's a GM here and everyone wants to play him. And I felt like, actually, this was a negative, right? Like, you know, you want to be able to just turn up at a chess club and be able to play and not have all of this attention, I think, personally. So Yeah, this was an interesting factor to consider. Like, oh, was this actually a worse quality of life of being like a GM in this situation? But yeah, I mean, in general, I think. Wait, let me think. Increase or decrease to increase your enjoyment in chess. I think the higher your rating goes, the more you have to lose, which I think is a negative kind of situation to put yourself in. Like, you don't want to feel like you have a lot to lose. Um, so that increases the amount of stress on you. But at the same time, the positive is by getting a higher rating, you know in yourself that you have achieved something that is extremely difficult. And I think that kind of intellectual achievement is one of the greatest feelings you can have as a person, right? So it's always got these pros and cons, and I mean, it really depends on you as a person, like what you are made up of and what matters more to you. I think for me, where my head is at right now, I would want to be able to reach the peak of my current capacity. So whatever my ceiling is right now as a chess player, I want to reach that ceiling, and I would be very content with that, because I think as a junior, I reached that ceiling. Like, as a junior, without doing any training, I reached 2050 or 180 old ECF, and this was basically the max of my capacity, basically just playing my best chess given my current capacity as a player. And I think that was a real good place to be in, because I felt like, I wasn't winning every game, I was losing to title players, but I didn't feel like I expected to be title players, right? So I think being at the top of your own game is like the most comfortable place to be. And for me right now, I think the ceiling for me is 2200, maybe 2300 at a push. I think I can do it. So yeah, maybe it's not GM, but I think that would already bring enough satisfaction as a player. Yeah. So that's my feeling. And to prevent burnout in chess, I think it's very important that you do a mix of training. So you're not just training things you don't enjoy, otherwise you will burn out. You also don't play too much. If you play too many tournaments, you stop understanding what you're doing this for, and you just play and you're miserable. So I think you need to have a balance with your training. And I think actually Jan Marcos puts it really well. He says, like, for an ambitious player, you want to be training 70% stuff you like. No, sorry. An ambitious player, you want 70% stuff that is like hardcore training that benefits your chess the most, and 30% of actual training that you enjoy. And then for a decent player that's just looking to improve gradually is 50-50 on enjoyment and improvement. And for instance, these woodpecker exercises, I would never do this in a million years if I didn't feel like it's something I need to do for my chess. So this is where like that 50-50 is coming in. And I think right now I am sitting at 50-50. Like I'm always thinking about my like what's going to improve my chess, but also I'm still doing a lot of stuff that I find fun. So I think on the whole, I'm really not experiencing too much burnout right now. Like maybe I'm having some doubts at times, but in general, not so much burnout, like especially compared to the past. So yeah, that would be my answer. So actually, I'm curious for you, Dan. I don't actually remember what your ratings were, actually. I have a feeling that you had a really low FIDE, a decent ECF, if I remember. I might be completely wrong. But like, what's your goals as a player? And what do you think your optimal rating would be for the greatest happiness? That'd be interesting. This jumps out at me as a move. I don't know if it does anything though. Rook b5 might be strong, but no, I just take him and I take. So what could it be? Takes and here. And if rook d2 takes and they take somehow, we have equal material. But I mean, we have won a pawn with this tactic, right? I mean, in the starting position, we're a pawn down. I mean, I know that white's pawn structure is very dodgy, but we have won a pawn that way. We can also win a pawn this way, right? So the question is, do we want to keep the knight on the board? I feel like we would. I feel like the knight has actually got some really nice squares. So this might be one of those red herrings. Oh, wait. We can take and we look for all of our checks. Because then we can do this. And that's surely a lot stronger. King f3. And what's the follow-up here? There must be some tactic to do with this. Ah, what's the winning blow? Takes. If I give check. Maybe I can take and give check here. Although I don't know if the pawn endgame is lost after rook d2. I'm sure this must be the motif, but I just can't make it work in my head. Takes on e2, rook takes e2. Knight takes f4 first? I'm threatening to win the rook. So maybe rook e1 there. I can take, and then I'm in check. I have to play like king d7. Again, it's unclear to me. So I really don't know what I'm missing. Takes, check, king g2, takes, king f3. Do we win enough material there? Maybe we do actually, because we can go takes, check, king here, takes, king here. And then we can take the rook here, king takes, and play rook b4. And I think we win a pawn by force. They can push, we can take. And we're in time to get behind the pawn as well. And we win 2 pawns there, and probably we're happy with that. So I think let's go for that. That's my solution. I don't know if I missed something better. Maybe I have. That's my solution. I don't think I've got any alternatives. I don't see why that would be better. Yes. And the idea is rook b4. Nice. Let's go. Rook b2 check was what I dismissed because of rook d2. I wonder what happens after rook d2. Rook d2, now rook b4. Okay, it's the same. But this pawn endgame, it felt really dodgy to me. Okay, this is very unclear. But yeah, rook b4 was the move. Takes. Aha, and they managed to hold like this. I still want a pawn though, right? Yeah, because they just simply traded a pawn here, and I'm a pawn up, and then... Wow, just as black is winning. Okay. I wouldn't be so confident that I could just say for sure this is winning, but I guess it makes sense. Like, these pawns are very strong together. So let's have a look. Oh, okay, we've got some essays. Let's go. I honestly enjoy all the important aspects of chess for my improvement, I think. So that's good. I like endgames and tactics. That's a very important thing, actually. Because there are some players who really despise like one aspect of the game. Like some people hate openings, some people hate endgames. And I think that's an important aspect to be a healthy chess player, is to enjoy all aspects of the game. And I think I do. I really do. I really do enjoy all aspects now. I mean, maybe tactics are the one that I find tedious. So it's not quite enjoyment, but still, if you find a really nice tactic in a game, I definitely have enjoyment there. Okay, so let's see what people are saying. Throwing the check after the rook sack? Yes, exactly, Kia. Nice job with rook b1. Hi, you were talking about enjoy and work 50-50. I'm analyzing my past games, and I write so much about my emotions and less about concrete variations. Do you think it is useful this way? Very interesting question, Yahit. It depends. Who is it for? I would say that if it's for yourself, then probably concrete variations would have a slight edge in terms of like usefulness. And if it's for a coach, then I think the emotions are very useful as well, because if you have the wrong emotions at a board, then maybe the coach can be like, no, you shouldn't be like worrying about this. You should just be thinking like this or something like this, right? So I think unless writing the emotions helps you specifically, maybe it does, right? Maybe you can work out these conclusions yourself. Maybe you can be like, okay, I was totally stressed out here when I shouldn't have been. Something like this. Actually, speaking of these emotions, I need to remind myself of this piece of advice, which is why I'm going to say it again. But I remember watching this course. Davrin Kujasevich was giving like one lecture, and he was talking about converting the advantage. And it's so interesting that basically when you're under time pressure or you're under serious pressure at the board and you need to, convert the position. It's like a tricky position and there's a lot on the line and you're feeling the pressure. He said there are only two things that matter. One are the moves themselves. So literally exactly objectively what is the correct move on the board. And two, your breathing. I never, ever, ever, up to this point, I remember watching this video like a year or two ago, I'd never thought about my breathing at the board, ever. Never crossed my mind. But it's so true. If you stop breathing and you start to or you even do the reverse and start hyperventilating and breathe too much, it can really mess up your ability to play well. So you need to just make sure that you're calm, you're breathing, and you're being objective about every move. And as soon as I did this, I was like converting so many more positions. But again, this is like something like I learned and I've forgotten already. I'm pretty sure in like my recent Rapid tournament, I mean, the one game I lost, basically I wasn't composed. Like I basically had a chance to find my solution and I completely messed it up because I spent 2 minutes like freaking out. So this advice is so important, which I forget. Okay, so Dan Savage says, I'm 2150 ECF, 2085 FIDE. Firstly, congratulations. For me, I'd say 90% of my chess time is Blitz, which is super addictive but doesn't help me improve or fuel my enjoyment of chess as much as over the board. Right, so I'm not trying to play more over the board to capture the enjoyment I had playing when I was a bit younger. So why is that? Why are you not playing more over the board? If you know that it will fuel your chess enjoyment, would that not be a reason to play more? I mean, for me, basically, I've kind of reached a similar point where, I mean, I even released a video at some point. I think I said like the grind is over, and I basically said that I'm going to be focusing more on Blitz. And in a way, like reaching 2500 online in Blitz was super fulfilling for me as a player because I felt that it was something I would be able to do if I really put my mind to it, and I did it. And this was really cool. So I think at some point, like this is the thing, right? Once I reach a level that I'm satisfied with, and I hear this a lot that you'll never be satisfied with whatever level you get to. Like, let's say I get to 2200 FIDE, then I'm going to want more, right? I'm going to want 2300, I'm going to want 2400. But I don't know. I think I can be pretty objective with myself. Or maybe objective is the wrong word, but I think I can be satisfied at a certain point. And I reckon at some point, if I, let's say, reached 2200 classical, and I was really proud of that, I reckon I could just play like a bunch of Blitz and get into Blitz and try and be a stronger Blitz player. Because, I mean, I think for me as a player, I really like the flow of Blitz, where you're playing more intuitively and you're not like, having to worry about blundering so much. Because in a Blitz game, when you're in that flow, you also blunder less, right? But you can't maintain that flow in a classical game because you can't maintain a flow for like 4 hours, right? It needs to be like a shorter period of time. So, and I don't see why, like, there should be such a stigma of, oh, Blitz isn't real chess, right? Like, I mean, in running, right? You have people who are better at 1500, like long distance. You have people who are better at 100-meter sprints. You don't say one is better than the other, and you don't shun the 1500 runner for not being a sprinter, and you don't shun a sprinter for not being a long distance runner, right? It's just different skills as a person, and you reflecting on what actually you enjoy and what actually you're good at. And I found for me that I really like the vibe of Blitz because normally it's like a one-day event. You can kind of get hyped for the one day, and that's it. Whereas with classical, you really have to take a huge chunk of your like emotional I don't know, what's the right word? Like, your emotional tank. I don't know if tank's the right word. Like a tank of water, right? And you have to take a huge chunk of that tank out to play like classical tournaments because these are days after days of like really grueling chess if you're playing at like the top level, right? Like you can't afford to slip up. So I don't really like that. I don't really like that. And I can completely sympathize with players who don't as well. So I feel like for me, what drives me right now is not because I'm really loving this whole format, but it's more like I want to prove to myself that I can do it. So that's why like this 2200 is a goal. And I wonder actually, Dan, for you, like what is your goal with over the board classical? Like, do you have a feeling like you wanna make a master title? I mean, with 2150 ECF, I think you should go for NM. Like, I think NM has a lot of respect. I think it's really cool. And I think, for life, you can say that you achieved NM. That's sick. I think you should try. Oh yeah, I'm glad to hear it motivates you, Yahit. Um, I've been playing ever since I was young like yourself. Yeah, I've been playing pretty much non-stop since the age of 10. I mean, I had 2 breaks, I would say. One break because I basically had better things to do with my life, and one break because I was really sick of chess. So, two breaks. But on the whole, yeah, I've been playing a lot. 2 in a weekend like Foncia was the best, right? Congresses kill me. Oh, congresses are so rough. Congresses are so brutal. Yeah. But yeah, why? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, why aren't you playing the English Championship? But you are. So okay, that's good to hear that you are playing the English Championship. That's cool. No problem, no problem. Okay. Oh my god, I have to see myself. How do you even get this photo, Jan? I should say tricky. Oh, this is gonna be so annoying. Okay, so Jan with my face is tricky. Fine, fine. We'll do that. We'll do that. At least I'm not gonna get as confused. Okay, first thing that comes to my mind is knight e5 and push d4. Let's get to 290 and then I think I'll stop for the day. I think I've done more than my more than the amount of tactics that I need to. But yeah, I love these chess questions. I mean, it's good for me to answer as well because it helps me reflect on it for myself as well, right? So I'm very happy to at least give my 2 cents. I don't know if it's like, you know, objectively good advice, but I've also thought a lot about these things. And I mean, it's really important to think about as well, because, you know, if you have this daydream that you want to get to this certain level and it will solve all your problems, well, if you get to this level and it doesn't solve all your problems, then what then, right? It's a bit like how, like, you know, I haven't verified this, but I heard about, like, you know, it's a common thing that when people reach their retirement and they get their pension, and then there's a huge number of people who have, like, depression at that point because they don't know what to do with their life. Like, they suddenly have all this time, they have this money, and they don't know what to do. And they suddenly start reflecting on, like, oh, was this all for nothing? And some people even get back into working because they need something to distract themselves with. Like, it's just not ideal, right? So you need to be thinking about, is the end goal actually what you want? I think this is important. Because if it's not what you want, then, you know, what are you putting in all this effort for, right? So I think you got to think very carefully about these things. And make sure that you're putting your time and effort into something that actually is going to improve your life, not worsen your life, right? I think this is what it comes down to. Yeah, it's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So is knight e5 a good move? Knight e5, I'm winning a pawn. If they take my knight, they're a piece for a pawn up, right? In the starting position, the pawns... Oh, I'm actually a pawn down, so we're actually equal when I take that pawn. So I take that pawn. If they take my knight, they're a whole piece up. I push d4. And what can they do? Let's say they just make some really passive move like bishop g1. I take the rook, they take with the king. Then I can take on h6. That looks really, really good. So if I can take on e5 and they take back and I push d4, do they have any other options? Yeah, I don't see what. If I take and I push and they play bishop g5, what happens here? Then I can actually just take on g4 and take... Yeah, so this looks really strong. This looks really strong. Are there any other moves I need to consider? Any checks? Knight takes. Do they have any checks? They can check me here. Does this lead anywhere? I can take and then they can go queen h5. Maybe this is actually very scary. But I have a knight on f8. Knight on f8, there's no mate. So maybe I'm actually doing okay here. So knight e5. I'm glad I looked at this because there would be days where I'm not looking at this. So this is very good that I'm looking at this, but I don't think it's a problem. I don't see a follow-up here. Unless unless are they actually able to just take me back? Maybe take me with the queen. But then at the least I can trade and then again push, right? So I think this looks really good. And if rook g7, I think it's fine. I think this looks good. And yeah, I mean, on a good day, I mean, in the past I would probably play this intuitively, but I can't trust my intuition. I need to check moves like rook h8. I think it's really important. Okay, I think we do a couple more. I have dreams of getting a title someday. If I can do it after having started at the age of 22, I'd be very happy. I mean, honestly, yeah, like, I think this would be like an incredible accomplishment, right? Like, if you can reach a title having started after the age of 20, that's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, keep it going. Do you have any tournaments coming up, Josh? But mainly focus on maps, right? That's actually something interesting as well. I found that some of my best chess was actually when chess wasn't the focus. And now I don't really have a choice, right? Like, I enjoy having chess as the focus as well, right? But in terms of actually playing well, when you can actually have it as like a side hustle or a hobby, this is actually working very well because it takes a bit of pressure off. When it's like your big thing and everyone is basically evaluating are you doing well in your life or not based on your chess results, then you start to have some extra pressure, right? But I think like having the pressure is not so much a problem if you can control it and handle it, which I think I'm getting there. But it definitely came as a shock, right? From not having any pressure at all. Like even in uni, I didn't feel nervous ever in a chess game. Never ever felt nervous. Because it's just chess. Like, you know, it's just a fun game. Like, what's there to be nervous about? So I never ever felt any nervousness. And that all changed when I started making chess like more serious. Okay, this one's just winning a pawn. I remember like I struggled with this for ages, but this just picks up a pawn. So I'm glad that I could see this quite fast. Okay, that's good. White is much better here. Can he tactically increase his advantage? I guess so. I just saw this idea of playing queen c1 as a way to try and bring in the pieces. Don't know if it does anything. Probably not, right? The king just goes back to g7. I don't see the idea. But this feeling of like Daniel King, right, at Hammersmith. I mean, you could say that maybe I would experience the same thing. Let's say I hit 2300, right, in my peak, and then like I came down from that peak and I wasn't playing as well. I don't think I would get depressed about it, to be honest. I would just accept that this is like natural, right? Like at some point you're going to peak. And if you never want to peak, that means that you should probably not train as hard, because that means you can always train throughout your whole life and always have this feeling of being able to reach new peaks. But for me, I don't think I mind being able to reach a peak and then just saying, yeah, that was my peak, and okay, I'm still playing, and yeah, I'm not playing as well, but it's okay. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe like the kind of person who gets to GM doesn't like that feeling of not being as exceptional as they once were, right? Maybe it's a hard thing to accept. But for me, I don't think I'd have any problem accepting that. I'd just be like, yeah, it's obvious that that would happen. I don't know how old Daniel King is, but like, it's like no surprise, right? That he's past his peak. So I'm trying to look at all my checks to see if I can make anything work. Look for my captures as well. What motifs are there in the position? Like, it feels like black is actually quite solid. Maybe I can take on b6. I don't fancy them taking with the c pawn because then I can push d6 and that just feels very strong. If they take with the a pawn, maybe now I can make use of like... Like, I love this idea of like, I know, take on b6, a takes b6, knight f6 or something, right? If they play king takes, then queen d4 looks really strong. But why do they have to respond to knight f6? Like, it doesn't even do anything. And the problem with bishop b6, a b6, queen d4, f6. And what to do here? I don't know. I'm gonna make this on the last one. I'm getting too hungry. I'm getting too hungry. But it's definitely a good workout. I feel like my brain is in good gear to play some serious chess tomorrow. I'm very excited. How does this go? Takes here, g5 check. King h5 has to be losing. If king g7, maybe we can go queen c3. And maybe the point is on f6. Maybe we can take. So what, we've won 2 pawns for the piece? And I have to be very careful now. If they take back... Wait, no, they can't take back because I've still got a knight here. I think that looks really good, actually. Bishop takes king h7. Then we can do knight f6, king g7. Queen c3, it feels like it has to be winning. I think this looks really good. Oh, it's not. But then f6. F6, and what is my plan? Maybe it's a move order thing? Queen c3, f6 now, bishop takes h6? If king takes h6, then g5 check? But then f takes g5. It doesn't feel as clear to me at all. So let's see what the point is. f6 is going to be played, and then what? What have I missed? I'll see if... Wait. Oh, okay. So my I think my chat didn't load again, so I will refresh one more time. I will definitely play Derbyshire and Sheffield Congress in autumn, maybe Manchester in August. Okay, nice. Not being able to accept you're not as good as you used to be. Kramnik? Yeah, literally. Knight takes first, deflects the king. Oh, knight takes first. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have checked chat, but I'm also super tired. Bishop h6. The thing is, yeah, and then the point is king f7. Now knight g5 is actually working, right? Oh, that's very nice. Oh, that's very, very clever. Bishop h7. But does it work? King takes? I guess now you can go g5 and you've got a big enough attack. I want to believe it. But does it actually work? Takes on f6, rook takes. And I assume bishop takes as the follow-up. Their king is super weak. Knight takes, rook takes, bishop h6, king h6, queen f6. Let's say they try and defend queen g8 or something. If we go g5 check, king h7, how do we actually win? Oh, their knight is hanging. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, I can't quite calculate all the lines, but it looks really strong. It looks really strong. Like the knight was hanging, so I don't think they can do anything. Bishop d7. I guess the move order doesn't matter. And g5. Oh, they got the result wrong. That's interesting. But yeah, let's compare this to my answer. What did I say? I said bishop h6, and I'm completely lost here. That's unbelievable. What did I have planned? I think I had planned this check, and on king g7, I had queen c3, and I was really happy with this. I thought f6 didn't work. I thought this was better for me. What? And I can... And he just takes back, and I've sacrificed what? I've sacrificed a piece, but I've only won one piece back, and this isn't enough. Yeah, this attacking chess is really tough for me. I find it really hard to evaluate these differences. I think you just got to be very concrete and evaluate the final position well. Yeah, very, very tough. Queen c3. Queen c3 and knight f6. That's crazy. You just obliterate the whole king side and it all just works. Guess that makes sense. But yeah, guys, I am going to have some lunch. I'm exhausted. But thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you for, training with me. I didn't get to 300, so I might do a morning stream. It depends how much time I have in the morning. I can't remember when the first round is. But yeah, this was good. And yeah, English Championships tomorrow. I will probably do some recaps. Everyone seems to be doing that nowadays, so I think it'd be fun to do as well. But yeah, I'll have a think what exactly I'm doing with YouTube while I play this tournament. But definitely the tournament takes first priority, right? That's going to be the goal. So English Championship all the way. And yeah, we'll see how I do. 7 rounds of very tough opponents. Yeah, it's going to be good. So on that note, guys, see you probably tomorrow. Thank you for the best of luck as well, Sven. Okay, see you.